3 simple steps. That's what we're talking about on today's video. If you're brand new to me, my name is Susan McVeigh. I am a married mama of 2 and a business sales and wealth strategist. Every day for the last, little while, but for 30 days, I'm going live on this YouTube channel to talk about all things entrepreneurship, business and sales, wealth and money, with some faith and family thrown in the mix, because #real life. So today's topic is coming hot on the heels of something that was popping into my mind. And I just finished off my brand new, hot off the press vision workshop. If you want access to that, I'll add that link below in the comments for you. So when we navigate change, because let's face it, change is inevitable. In life, the only constant, aside from death and taxes, is change, because we don't operate in a silo, meaning we don't have a fixed environment where all the factors stay the same, right? You are not a closed system. You are someone who is constantly evolving and changing and shifting. Even by virtue of you just stumbling upon this video, something about what you just watched or heard or saw immediately has shifted. It's called neuroplasticity. And so as a result, we are always going to be navigating change. We are always going to be changing into either something that is moving us closer towards our dreams and desires or farther away. And how we navigate that change and how we do so successfully is going to determine how smooth the path gets to be. So how do we do that? How do we navigate? How do we navigate successfully the things that are inevitable? So there's 3 things that I want us to focus on today. Number 1 is to build a clear vision. Because here's what I know, that even in the face of uncertainty and change, because change often comes with uncertainty, that there's still something that you can keep your gaze fixed upon. And if you can navigate change, knowing how it connects to the vision that you have for your life, for your business, for your career, for your goals, for your relationships or your health, for any area, then it will allow you to keep going in the face of uncertainty and in the face of change. Because again, change and uncertainty typically go hand in hand. Number 2 is I want you to, once you have a clear vision, right? Once you have a clear vision of what it is that you're navigating and how you're going to move through it, because oftentimes change doesn't happen when we're staying the same, right? Like that's just by definition. Oftentimes, the times when we are facing the greatest amount of uncertainty and change is because we are shifting into something new. So automatically, that is going to feel a little bit scary. It is going to come with things that are not certain, and it is something that we have to just be okay with. How? Number 1, clear vision. Number 2 is I might have to hop off because my kid's trying to figure out last minute Christmas gifts, because #real life. So number 2 is I want you to, once you have the vision, then you can plan. Okay, then you can plan. So if you do it the other way around, your plans have nothing to connect to. And then you feel like a fish out of water and you're a little bit floundering. The 3rd point is to be resilient. Now, what it means to actually be resilient, but the 3rd point about being resilient means that in the face of uncertainty and in the face of continued challenges, you're just going to keep going. You're just going to keep getting up and taking one step in front of the other. And when you are able to do that, then the change becomes less of an issue. Now, I don't want to belittle whatever situation that you're going through, because I've been through my fair share of changes. I'm sure you have too, and that's probably why you're on here. But we're going to keep this short and sweet and to the point, because we're coming up on the holiday season. It is December 3rd when we go live. If you have questions on this topic, make sure that you add them below in the comments for me. Typically, I come on live, I talk about something, and then we do a bit of the live Q&A. Today, my kiddo needs me, and so we're going to be popping off. So navigating change successfully comes down to 3 simple things. Number 1, I want you to build a clear vision. If you need help doing that, I'm going to add the link to grab my vision workshop because it might be helpful for you. It was great, if I got to toot my own horn, but we got some amazing feedback from the workshop attendees today. We just finished that off. So number 2 is I want you to then make a plan that's based off of your vision, because when you do that, then you will find it much easier to navigate through the change, knowing that, of course, you're going to have to go through change because you're going to do something different. And anytime we do something different, we're going to face uncertainty, aka change. And when you have a clear direction, which is the vision, then it's going to be much easier for you to keep going, even if you have to make changes to your plan. Because let's face it, we make plans and God just laughs at us, right? Because as you keep moving forward, you may find that there are things that you presuppose, there are things that you prepared for that are no longer the case. You may no longer be able to go down that path. And so you're going to have to maneuver very quickly. And so if you can stay nimble and you can stay focused on the vision, then the plans that you have, you can hold loosely, okay? And then the third piece is to be resilient. And resilience, I want you to think like bamboo. Bamboo bends and it goes like this in the wind, which is why it doesn't break. That is a sign of resilience, that in the face of something that is challenging and uncertain and sometimes scary, that instead of you breaking and folding and just dropping, that you allow yourself to keep moving forward, right? And if we think like bamboo in the face of like being shaken and winds and just stuff coming at you, that it grows such a great root system. It takes like 5 years for bamboo to grow all of its roots. And so below the surface, it looks like nothing's happening because on paper, nothing is happening. But the extensive root system that bamboo grows means that bamboo is virtually indestructible. It is, and if you've ever had bamboo in your yard, in your lawn, you know what I'm talking about, because you dig that out and it grows right back up. And so it takes that amount of time because it is anchored and rooted and strength in the ground. Because when it starts to shoot up, because it can grow like a foot overnight, right? Some species grow even faster than that. That's a lot of change in a very short amount of time. So if you think like bamboo, that sometimes the things that you're doing, it feels like it's taken a lot of time, but if you keep your vision towards your North Star and you hold loosely to the plans, then your resilience is really about what are you rooted into? What are you holding firm to? And what have you spent time to actually plant and grow and to be resilient or flexible about? Because when you do that, like bamboo has very, very shallow roots, but it's widespread. And when it starts to grow above the ground, it means that because it has so many roots, it bends, it sways, the wind can't break it. And even if, because I try to go and dig out bamboo, it is virtually indestructible because it has so many roots that it's just going to sprout out somewhere else again, right? And so when you know that in the face of change, that you can navigate with grace and determination, not just because you're hustling your way through. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being thoughtful and mindful with intention because you are focused on a goal and because your vision is connected to those goals, that you've made a plan because you have a purpose behind what it is that you're trying to do, that when you navigate change, you will feel like a boat, rocking up and down on the water, but you will still have the faith and the fortitude to know, I know how to get to the other side, even if the path doesn't look like how I imagined. And that's going to be okay. You're just going to keep going, and your resilience is what's going to allow you to keep taking one more step every single day or every single hour or every single month. And then you're going to be on the other side. Does that make sense? Hello, Red Revenge. Dollface. Hello, thank you. I appreciate your kind words. Hello. Mod Org. Hi. It is Susan. What's your name? This stream, I put in the title, it's about navigating change. So we're just coming up on the end because my kiddo needs me. But if you do have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer for you. Mehmet, you speak very well like a teacher. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. I have practiced for a very long time. So, and I continue to practice because I'm not perfect. So sometimes I trip up over my words. Sometimes I don't get it right. Sometimes I gotta pause, which is life. Truth 604, God's laughing at you all. Isn't that the truth? Right? Isn't that the truth? Okay, so if you're brand new to me and you want to follow more content like this, you don't have to. In fact, I encourage you, if this does not speak to you at all, don't follow me. Don't like, don't subscribe, because life is too short. You should be enjoying the things that you spend time on, which includes watching something like this, right? Watching anything, because your life is precious. And I want you to squeeze out every last ounce of joy and peace and fulfillment out of it. But if you like topics like this, if you like topics that are centered around faith and business, entrepreneurship, money and wealth, with a sprinkling of real life, because I'm a mom and I got real life going on all the time, then feel free to follow, subscribe, and like. .org, subscribe, we'll check your content. I appreciate it. And if there is some content ideas that you have, this is how I come up with some of the stuff that I put on this channel. So I'm doing a challenge for myself, which is to go live every single day. And I've been doing it for almost 2 weeks. I want to say like 10 days. I'm doing it for 30 days. Why? Because I can. And because when I started it, it felt hard. And I want us to know, that includes you, that we can do hard things. And when because it would have been very easy for me to say, I just did a 2.5 hour long training workshop, which is on the Vision Workshop. And if you want the replay, feel free to say I'm in Vision, and I'm going to give you access to the replay for $33 still. It will go up to $97, but I'm waiting for the recording to render. And so right now it's still $33. But the reason why I share this is because somebody on here is hemming or hawing about, should I do that? Should I not do that? Listen, sitting on the fence is very painful. Every single piece of my content is designed to empower and to inspire you, not just because you need to feel good about your life, because your life is hopefully is pretty good, but in order for you to be motivated into taking an action that you don't want to take. Because let me tell you, the things that we don't want to do, our greatness is built brick by brick, not because you need to transform into somebody different. You already are the great person that you are. You're already extraordinary, but sometimes we let life get in the way. Sometimes we let us get in the way. And I want you to know that if I can do this, you can do this too. And not from like a rah, you can do this. I literally mean, what is it that you need to do that you've been putting off? And if today you could take one tiny little step to make that change happen, because that's what we're talking about, navigating change. What is it? What is that tiny step, right? For me, I know that I want to impact and help more people. And so this is the platform that God told me to be on, even though I'm not a YouTube expert. It takes a lot more thought process for me to optimize the content and the topics and make it so that it sounds like something that somebody would actually look for, so that I can actually help you, right? Because talking about it is one thing, but having you find the topic so that you can actually get the information that I'm trying to impart is a whole other thing. So my goal is that as I do this, I'm going to learn some lessons. I'm going to improve. I'm going to gain more confidence and more competence, which I talk about in one of my earlier videos. So if that appeals to you, go and find it. And then hopefully help you to do something that you think is hard, but actually isn't as bad as it seems. Does that make sense? Hello, Carter. Best motivation speech I've ever heard. Well, thank you. Are you Christian? I am. I believe in God and Holy Spirit and Jesus. But I love you no matter what you believe. Some of my best friends are Buddhists. My family is Buddhist. I have Shintos. I have all kinds of people. I've learned and gone through the gamut, let me say, in my journey to find where I am. So, Mod.org, cool, I like your energy. Thank you. I appreciate it. Mehmet says, can you explain your purpose with easier words? My English is not very good. I want to listen to you. Sure. So your purpose, so let me give you an example for me. My purpose is to serve others. And I don't mean like be a slave, right? Because I think sometimes we'd be like, oh, I have to do everything that everybody else wants. No. When I help people, right? When I am of service, then, so I want you to think about somebody who helps you in a store, because most of the people in a store are called customer service agents or customer service representatives, at least where I live in the world, because I'm in Canada. They're there to help you, right? They're not your servant. They're not your slave. They're there to fulfill a need. So that's what my purpose is. Now, what is your purpose? Your purpose, it should answer the question, which is why are you here? What is your reason for being on earth? What did God create you to do? And it can be simple. Like for me, my purpose is to serve others. How that happens depends. As a mom, my purpose to serve them is to take care of my children, to hopefully create well-adapted, well-adjusted, well-intentioned, and good-hearted, kind, smart, resourceful adults. I don't want my kids to be with me all the day long. You know what I mean? Like at some point, they gotta go. In my business, my purpose is manifested through my ability to teach, to coach, to consult, to strategize for the results that clients want. When I was in corporate, my purpose was fulfilled in doing my job and doing it well, right? Serving their goals, their vision, and ultimately the customers that business had. So that's how I would explain purpose. I hope that helps you. But if not, if you need more clarity, then let me know and I will see how I can adjust. Because my parents English is not my parents' first language. It is mine, but I understand and I've taught ESL. So I'm more than happy to help because I think it's great that you want to learn, right? Could you please speak a little slower? I hope I slowed it down. I have difficulty understanding you. So I hope that I slowed it down a little bit for you. I just naturally did that, but I tend to talk a little bit faster, especially when I'm excited. So I apologize. I'm sorry, and I appreciate your request. Okay? So, Mehmet, if you're still on here, let me know if that helped. The good thing is you can watch the replay and then slow it down on 0.5 speed so that it helps you. And then I think I put on the transcripts, but if anybody is a YouTube kind of expert, if you can help me figure out why my transcripts aren't showing up, because I put it on, but they're not always showing up. So I'm sorry, because I try to make all my stuff accessible because I get it. Mod.org, content, help people understand their purpose, work towards succeeding, enjoy the process while letting to Susan. What does that mean? Enjoy the process while. I like it. I'm gonna, I didn't bring my pen in here. Hold on. Screenshot. Oh, while listening. Thank you. Thank you, Mod.org. I appreciate it. This is how I get ideas, right? Because I'm here in order to help you. And if you want help, I will absolutely show up for you. And I will absolutely create content that will help you. Because even if it only helps one person, because I think sometimes we think that we can't make an impact on people's lives if we're not huge. I'm guilty of it too, right? Where we think, oh, it's too small, it's too little. Like, I don't have enough people, I don't have enough followers, I don't have an audience. And it's like, well, says who? And how small is so small? Like, the reality is, if I had 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 extra people over for dinner, like, that's still a big deal, right? Like I still would have to make plans for that. I still would have to accommodate for that. And that's not to say that that's an inconvenience. It just means I would need to make space. I would need to do something differently. So why do we think that just helping one person through a social media platform or through YouTube or through anything that we do is not a big deal? It is a big deal. Like we have to accommodate that. We have to expand for that. We have to create space for that. And we have to change for that. Thank you, Jesus, Holy Spirit, like for that little connection. And so before we can serve 2 or 20 or 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 or a million, right? It starts with one person. And that's why, like, if you're struggling right now, here's the message for you. Find someone to serve every day, just one person. And I guarantee that that's going to snowball. And if you do it consistently, even though it seems like nobody's listening, nobody's paying attention, and nobody cares, except for you, that's enough, because it will start to ripple. It will start to snowball, and it will start to go and go and go. But you have to believe that that's possible. And you have to believe that your value and the things that you do does not make up who you are. Does that make sense? Because I think sometimes we try to give in order to get, and that's not the point. We have to give because it fulfills our purpose and it fulfills who we are. And it's not about how much can I give for how much can I get. The law of reciprocity indicates that when we give, it will come back. We just don't know how, right? And so as we navigate through change and uncertainty and what if that or what if this, all you can do is control who you are in that moment and how you get to operate and how you get to move and how you get to show up and the choices that you make. And my goal today is that hopefully if you've been having a tough time, especially through the holiday season, and maybe making different decisions, that you are empowered to choose a path that is aligned to that vision. Okay? And on the flip side, if you're having a great day, that this is, keep going because you're amazing, right? Because I think sometimes, especially if you are a high achiever, we're so focused on the next thing and the next thing and the next thing that we don't often sit and reflect and give ourselves an opportunity to celebrate and say, I did a great job. Like I did a great job on my workshop today. I did a great job delivering the content for the vision workshop. And so I know that it already transformed some lives. And if there's somebody else who needs it, go and grab it. Say, I'm in workshop and I'll send you the link. But if you don't need it, then you don't need it. And I'm okay with that. I don't take offense. It doesn't impact me. And it doesn't mean that I didn't do a good job on my workshop. Does that make sense? Okay? I hope that helps somebody on here, because somebody might be, your results and your value and your worthiness or your deservedness are not connected to the things that you do or don't do. And they're not connected to the results that you create or don't create. They're not connected to what other people get or don't get. You are you, beautifully, wonderfully made, and you are complete, regardless of what anybody else would say, right? When I work with clients, it's because you want more. Not because you're greedy, but because the more you have, the more you can give, and you do that freely. You do that freely, and because you're a good steward, like you are experienced and knowledgeable, and you know that if bad people can have more stuff and make more bad things happen, then surely the odds need to be stacked in our favor. That the good people on the winning team, that we need more resources. We need more good people to do good things with the stuff that they have. Make sense? Okay. Mod.org, I serve my students. I hope it ripples positively. I hope so too. In fact, I know that if you're on here and you're sharing that, you have a heart to serve. And whether it's in a small way or in a big way, you are making a difference in the lives of your students too. So I don't think there's any more questions. If there are, add them below. I'm going to go because it is getting late, and hashtag real life. I'm going to go help my husband make dinner because I want to. Actually, not because I have to, but because I want to. So we will be back tomorrow. I know it's Christmas Eve, but I've made a commitment and I'm going to honor my word because it proves to me that I can do hard things. And I will arrange it around my family schedule. So make sure that you have the notification and bell thingies on. And if you do have any further suggestions, I'm going to use what Mod.org said. I am going to probably talk about purpose. How do you find your purpose? I think maybe that would be a good one to use as we kind of reflect upon the end of the year and during the holiday season. So with that, I will see you tomorrow. Happy holiday. Cheers to you too, Mod.org, and anybody else who happens to be live on here or watching the replay. We will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.